Today we're going to be making the fluffiest cinnamon rolls that I have ever tasted. This is supposed to be a copycat recipe, although I've never worked there, so I can't verify that for sure. But it's supposed to be a copycat recipe of that, big chain cinnamon roll place that's in the mall, and they have cinnamon rolls that are as big as your head. Although I haven't been in a mall in so long, I don't even know if they're still in business, but you probably know what I'm talking about. This is editing me, and I wanted to interject why I don't give you all of the flour up front is because when you're doing bready baked goods like cinnamon rolls or actual bread, it's better to have less flour than more flour because you can't take more flour out. Once it's done, it's done. And whenever you have a little looser dough, a little softer dough, you can always work more flour into it. Whenever you get into the kneading process, I find that it creates a much fluffier, softer, more tender bread. You'll also find the more that you bake, the weather will affect how much flour that you will need in your baked good. Whether it's really humid, you might need a little more flour, or if it's more dry outside, you might need a little less. So it's really better to learn to go by what it looks like and what it feels like rather than just a number on a recipe. From here, I'm only going to add a little flour as needed, and basically your dough will feel really soft, but you just don't want it all sticky and gummy on your fingers. So anytime I find a spot that's really sticky and gummy still, I'll sprinkle just a little flour on it, but you want your dough to remain very soft and fluffy feeling. From here, we're going to knead our dough only just a little bit, because if you were making a nice homemade bread, like a homemade sourdough, you would really knead it well to develop the gluten in the flour. The more you knead your dough, the more it develops the gluten, and that gives it that nice chewy mouthfeel. But with cinnamon rolls, you want them to remain very tender and very fluffy and very soft, almost more like a cake-like consistency. So we don't want to knead it hardly at all. At this point, it's actually more of just a fold. You're folding the dough, kind of making sure everything is incorporated well, and then we're going to press it out into our rectangular shape so we can begin making our cinnamon rolls. If you're going to immediately bake these, place them 2 inches apart, give them some room in between them because you're going to let them proof until they're touching, and then you can place them in a 350-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Once they start to get brown, then you know that they're ready. You can pull them. What I'm doing here is getting some meal prep done for next week. I have some breakfast coming up next week, and so I want to be able to pull out however many that I need, and this is what I'm doing. I'm going to lay them out right now on the sheet pan where they're touching, and I'm immediately going to put them into my freezer until they're all individually frozen. From there, I'll wrap them in some parchment paper and put them into freezer Ziploc bags until I need them. Now what I'll do next week when I need them is pull out however many that I need, and I'll place them on a lined sheet tray, or if you have non-stick, you can do a sprayed sheet tray, and I'll put them 2 inches apart and let them proof or rise until they're touching, and then I'll bake them as normal at 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. Because I only baked one cinnamon roll, I didn't make up a whole batch of icing. I only made enough icing for one cinnamon roll. But I will put up on the screen how you can either make a cream cheese frosting or a buttercream frosting, depending upon which one you like, for your cinnamon roll. And for both of them, you want to make sure your butter and your cream cheese are both very soft, like room temperature, and you place all of your ingredients into the bowl, and then you whip it with either your mixer, your hand mixer, or your stand mixer until everything is fluffy. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.